We all have an inner voice. It's that constant companion in our minds, always present, always commenting. Sometimes it feels like a friend, guiding us through tough decisions and offering comfort in times of need. Other times it feels like a foe, criticizing our every move and magnifying our insecurities. It whispers in our ear, comments on our actions, and often it feels like it's always watching, always judging. This inner voice can be a source of wisdom, but it can also be a relentless critic. It judges our every move, scrutinizing our decisions and actions. It can make us second-guess ourselves, leading to a cycle of doubt and hesitation. For many of us, this inner voice is a harsh critic. It points out our flaws, magnifies our mistakes, and often leaves us feeling inadequate. This constant self-criticism can be exhausting and demoralizing. It berates our mistakes, magnifies our flaws, and constantly reminds us that we aren't good enough. This negative self-talk can become a barrier to our growth and happiness, and constantly reminds us that we aren't good enough. This relentless self-criticism can feel motivating at times, pushing us to strive for perfection, but it often leaves us feeling drained and defeated. This relentless self-criticism can feel motivating, pushing us to try harder and achieve more. We push ourselves to the limit, hoping to silence that inner critic with our achievements, pushing us to try harder and achieve more. But this constant pressure can also lead to burnout and a sense of never being good enough, no matter how much we accomplish. But what if this inner critic is actually holding us back? What if, instead of motivating us, it's creating a cycle of self-doubt and fear? This inner voice, meant to guide us, can sometimes become our biggest obstacle. We've been conditioned to believe that self-criticism is a necessary ingredient for success. From a young age, we're taught that being hard on ourselves is the key to improvement and achievement. We push ourselves harder, striving for perfection, driven by the fear of failure and the sting of self-judgment. This fear can be a powerful motivator, but it can also be paralyzing. Driven by the fear of failure and the sting of self-judgment, we become our own worst enemies, setting impossibly high standards and punishing ourselves when we fall short. But research is revealing a surprising truth. Self-compassion, not self-criticism, is the key to unlocking our true potential. Studies show that treating ourselves with kindness and understanding can lead to greater resilience, creativity, and overall well-being. Self-compassion, not self-criticism, is the key to unlocking our true potential. Imagine for a moment silencing that inner critic and replacing it with a voice of kindness and understanding. Imagine for a moment silencing that inner critic and replacing it with a voice of kindness and understanding. What if, instead of berating ourselves for our shortcomings, we treated ourselves with the same care and compassion we would offer a close friend, and replacing it with a voice of kindness and understanding? What if, instead of berating ourselves for our shortcomings, we treated ourselves with the same care and compassion we would offer a close friend? This shift in perspective can be transformative. What if, instead of berating ourselves for our shortcomings, we treated ourselves with the same care and compassion we would offer a close friend? This is the essence of self-compassion. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and being gentle with ourselves. We treated ourselves with the same care and compassion we would offer a close friend. This is the essence of self-compassion. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and being gentle with ourselves. It's about understanding that everyone makes mistakes and that it's okay to be imperfect. This is the essence of self-compassion. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and being gentle with ourselves. It's about understanding that everyone makes mistakes and that it's okay to be imperfect. This mindset can free us from the chains of self-doubt and open the door to true growth and fulfillment. It's time to challenge the traditional narrative. It's time to let go of the belief that self-criticism is the only path to success. Instead, let's embrace self-compassion as a powerful tool for personal and professional growth, and explore the transformative power of self-compassion in achieving lasting success. By being kinder to ourselves, we can unlock our true potential and live more fulfilling, balanced lives. Let's embark on this journey of self-discovery and see where it leads. Self-criticism can feel motivating on the surface. We push ourselves harder, believing that being tough on ourselves is the only way to improve. We think that by setting high standards and constantly pushing ourselves, we will achieve more and become better versions of ourselves. This mindset is often reinforced by societal norms and expectations which glorify perfectionism and relentless self-improvement. However, beneath the surface, self-criticism takes a heavy toll. It erodes our self-esteem and self-worth, making us feel inadequate and unworthy. The constant negative self-talk can lead to feelings of depression and hopelessness, as we start to believe that we will never be good enough. Constant self-judgment creates a climate of fear and anxiety. We become paralyzed by the fear of failure, worrying that any mistake will confirm our worst fears about ourselves. This fear can be so overwhelming that it prevents us from taking any action at all, leading to procrastination and avoidance. We become so afraid of making mistakes that we avoid taking risks, stifling creativity and innovation. Our fear of failure becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, as we miss out on opportunities to learn and grow. Instead of embracing challenges and learning from our mistakes, we stay in our comfort zones, limiting our potential. Studies have linked self-criticism to a range of negative outcomes, including procrastination, perfectionism, and burnout. When we are constantly striving for perfection, we set ourselves up for failure, as perfection is an unattainable goal. This leads to a cycle of disappointment and frustration, as we can never meet our own impossibly high standards. Perfectionism can also lead to burnout, as we push ourselves to the brink of exhaustion in our quest for flawlessness. The constant pressure to perform and the fear of making mistakes can take a toll on our mental and physical health, leaving us feeling drained and depleted. When we are constantly criticizing ourselves, we deplete our emotional reserves, leaving us feeling drained and demoralized. This emotional exhaustion can make it difficult to find joy and satisfaction in our lives, as we are always focused on what we are doing wrong rather than what we are doing right. This negativity spills over into all areas of our lives, impacting our relationships, our work, and our overall well-being. Our constant self-criticism can make us more irritable and less patient with others, straining our relationships and making it difficult to connect with those around us. This negativity spills over into all areas of our lives, impacting our relationships, our work, and our overall well-being. Our constant self-criticism can make us more irritable and less patient with others, straining our relationships and making it difficult to connect with those around us. At work, our fear of making mistakes can prevent us from taking on new challenges or sharing our ideas, limiting our professional growth and success. Moreover, self-criticism narrows our focus. We become so fixated on our flaws and shortcomings that we fail to recognize our strengths and accomplishments. This distorted self-perception prevents us from seeing opportunities for growth and celebrating our successes. Instead of acknowledging our achievements, we dwell on our perceived failures, perpetuating a cycle of negativity. We become so fixated on our flaws and shortcomings that we fail to recognize our strengths and accomplishments. This distorted self-perception prevents us from seeing opportunities for growth and celebrating our successes. Instead of acknowledging our achievements, we dwell on our perceived failures, perpetuating a cycle of negativity. This distorted self-perception prevents us from seeing opportunities for growth and celebrating our successes. Instead of acknowledging our achievements, we dwell on our perceived failures, perpetuating a cycle of negativity. This can lead to a lack of motivation and a sense of hopelessness, as we feel that no matter what we do, it will never be good enough. It's time to break free from the shackles of self-criticism and embrace a more compassionate approach to ourselves. By practicing self-compassion, we can learn to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a friend. This shift in mindset can help us build resilience, improve our mental health, and unlock our full potential. Let's start by acknowledging our strengths, celebrating our achievements, and being gentle with ourselves when we make mistakes. After all, we are all works in progress, and it's our imperfections that make us uniquely human. Self-compassion is not about letting ourselves off the hook or ignoring our mistakes. It's a common misconception that being kind to ourselves means we are being too lenient or not holding ourselves accountable. However, self-compassion is actually about recognizing our humanity and understanding that everyone makes mistakes. It's about acknowledging our flaws and missteps without harsh self-criticism. It's about treating ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and acceptance that we would offer a close friend who is struggling. Imagine how you would respond to a friend who is going through a tough time. You would likely offer them words of encouragement, a listening ear, and a compassionate heart. Self-compassion means extending that same level of care and empathy to ourselves. When we practice self-compassion, we acknowledge our imperfections without judgment. We understand that being imperfect is part of the human experience. Instead of berating ourselves for our shortcomings, we can choose to be gentle and supportive. This shift in perspective can have a profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being. When we practice self-compassion, we acknowledge our imperfections without judgment. We recognize that everyone makes mistakes, and that these mistakes are opportunities for learning and growth. By embracing our imperfections, we can cultivate a sense of self-acceptance and inner peace. This doesn't mean we ignore our mistakes, but rather, we approach them with a mindset of growth and improvement. We recognize that everyone makes mistakes, and that these mistakes are opportunities for learning and growth. When we view our errors as chances to learn, we become more resilient and adaptable. This mindset allows us to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and openness, rather than fear and self-doubt. It's a powerful way to transform setbacks into stepping stones for personal development. Research has shown that self-compassion is linked to a wide range of positive outcomes, including increased motivation, improved performance, and greater resilience in the face of challenges. Studies have found that individuals who practice self-compassion are more likely to set realistic goals, stay motivated, and persevere through difficulties. This is because self-compassion fosters a supportive inner dialogue that encourages growth and persistence, including increased motivation, improved performance, and greater resilience in the face of challenges. When we are kind to ourselves, we create a safe and supportive inner environment that allows us to thrive. This inner environment is crucial for our overall well-being and success. It helps us to stay focused, maintain a positive outlook, and recover more quickly from setbacks. When we are kind to ourselves, we create a safe and supportive inner environment that allows us to thrive. This inner sanctuary of self-compassion acts as a buffer against stress and negativity. It empowers us to face life's challenges with a sense of calm and confidence. By nurturing ourselves with compassion, we build a strong foundation for emotional resilience and mental clarity. Self-compassion empowers us to take risks, learn from our mistakes, and bounce back from setbacks with greater ease. It gives us the courage to step out of our comfort zones and pursue our goals with determination. When we are compassionate towards ourselves, we are more likely to take constructive actions and make positive changes in our lives. This self-compassionate approach helps us to navigate the ups and downs of life with grace and resilience. It allows us to embrace our authentic selves, imperfections and all, and to live with greater purpose and fulfillment. By accepting ourselves as we are, we free ourselves from the burden of unrealistic expectations and self-criticism. This acceptance opens the door to a more meaningful and joyful life. We can pursue our passions, build deeper connections with others, and experience a greater sense of fulfillment. It's time to discover the transformative power of self-compassion and unlock our true potential. Embracing self-compassion is a journey that requires patience and practice, but the rewards are immense. By being kind to ourselves, we can unlock our true potential and live a life filled with purpose, joy, and resilience. So let's start this journey today and experience the surprising power of self-compassion. The benefits of self-compassion aren't just anecdotal. They're deeply rooted in our neurobiology. Brain imaging studies have shown that self-criticism activates the same neural pathways associated with threat and fear. When we criticize ourselves, our bodies go into fight or flight mode, releasing stress hormones like cortisol. Conversely, self-compassion activates the brain's soothing system, releasing oxytocin and other feel-good hormones. This physiological shift creates a sense of safety and security, allowing us to think more clearly, regulate our emotions more effectively, and perform at our best. Furthermore, self-compassion promotes neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and adapt throughout life. By practicing self-compassion, we can literally rewire our brains for greater resilience, well-being, and success. Understanding the science behind self-compassion can empower us to make conscious choices that support our mental and emotional well-being.